Hello Shopbox out there, it's a brand new week, so you guys know what that means, a new week with lots of new adventures to be had. I'm going to be taking you guys along on my adventures I get to this week. I hope you guys are all having a lovely start to the week. It is Monday, and I've got Monday and Tuesday off work. I'm not on work now till Wednesday, which meant I was able to have a little bit of a lie-in and not have to set any alarms, which felt so good. I then got showered and changed and had some lemon curd toast and a cup of tea for my breakfast. I then let Bear out in the garden and gave Bear and Paddy their food that they have in the mornings, and it was a lovely sunny day with beautiful blue skies. I was then just watching some stuff on Netflix and listened to a bit of music and just watched some funny dog and cat videos and some sea lion videos and some TikToks and vlogs, and then I was just working on some new illustrations, colouring some of those in and reading some more of the long game, and had a cup of tea and some custard creams, and then sorted my blue turtle out into a new look, and I'll show you guys a clip of that. Here's my blue turtle's newest look, starting off with these shoes. She's got these brown cowgirl boots on with some black netting stockings, and she has this pink cactus print dress on with this black jacket and this necklace. There's two necklaces in one, which is really cute, and this black hat, and this is the whole look. It's giving cowgirl vibes. I then got myself ready to go off to my happy place, the garden centre, and I was going off to Armsy Garden Centre that I hadn't been to for a while, so I made my way off to go get the bus there and was listening to music on my headphones whilst on my way to get the bus, and I got there just as the bus was about to leave, and I managed to get there just in time. As I got on the bus driver was like perfect timing. I then got the bus to Armsy Garden Centre, and you have to cross over and then walk down this country lane and then cross over the road right outside where there's like 3 different roads, and it's always pretty stressful, but I managed to get over and made sure to walk over the road where I could see clearly with all the different roads. Got into the garden centre and had a look around there, and went off to the home section first, and they had a load of new displays set up. I got some snaps of some of the home and decor stuff they had in there. They've got some really pretty things in there, lots of really pretty pillows and little gnomes and lanterns. And then I went off to the plant section, and they've got a load of new plant displays up as well. I got some plants that's on there to show you guys. The plant section is huge. I was able to get some really pretty plants that's on there. I then went off to the outside area of the garden centre where they have the flower section, and whilst on my way to the flower section I came across some outside garden mirrors that you can put up in your gardens. I got some mirror sizes from there that I'll show you guys. I bloody love a mirror selfie, as you guys know. And then I made my way off to go to the flower section, and I got some flower sets from there, and I'll show you guys those. Spring is definitely on its way. There's lots of beautiful flowers starting to appear with such lovely colours. I was able to get some really pretty flower starts with lovely colours and patterns on. I then went off and had a look at the stationery section and at some of the notebooks and some of the mugs and the plushies and the chocolates and sweets as Easter is on its way. So you've got lots of chocolate Easter eggs and bits like that in there. I then made my way off to get the bus back, and I got to the bus stop just as the bus arrived, which is great, which meant I didn't have to wait too long as it had gone quite gloomy. Although it had been such a lovely start to the day with beautiful blue skies, it went a bit overcast. I did start to rain a little bit. Luckily it didn't rain too badly and just went a bit overcast, which I'll take. I'd rather have overcast than absolutely lashing down. I'm just done with this horrible rain that we've been having. We've just been having so much rain, and I hope we get the sunny spring weather soon, fingers crossed. I then got off to go to the Alpaca Cafe, and I got there and unfortunately it was shut, which was a bit annoying, and so I ended up going off to this other cafe called The Square, which I hadn't been to for a while, and one of my family friends used to work in Butties, which is just around the corner from me, works there now, so I was having another catch up with them, and I got myself a coronation chicken sandwich and a pot of tea and a bit of lemon drizzle cake, and I'll show you guys that. It was was so delicious. Coronation chicken is probably one of my favourite sandwich fillings to have. It's so good. I had my pot of tea and my bit of lemon drizzle, which is probably one of my favourite cakes, and sat in the window area of the cafe. I was just chilling and I felt good to have a sit down as I've been doing a lot of walking. And then I made my way off and I went for a little stroll as the weather had cheered up a little bit, thankfully, and it was pretty warm considering how rainy it had been. And I then made my way back, and whilst on my way back I had to pop to Lewes, went off to one of the pubs just near to town, and then got some nurse office from there to shoot. They've got such beautiful mirrors in that pub. I then made my way down the hill back into town and was listening to music on my headphones whilst on my walk back, and called up Tash to have a chat with her. I was having a good catch up with her, and she's at work this evening, so I wish her a lovely shift tonight. I then made my way into town and went off to the high street and went off and had a look at the charge shops and had a look at some of the jumpers inside the charge shops. And then I went off to TG Joe's. I was having a look around there at some of the books and notebooks and some of the stationery. I bloody love a bit of stationery. I then went off to the bookshop, and I love the smell of old books so much. And then popped into Aldi and had a look at Aldi's Best Buy section, and then went off to the coffee lab and got myself a chai latte from there, and I'll show you guys a snap of that I got. The chai lattes that you do in that are so delicious. I then stayed in there for a little bit and had a really chilled playlist on, and then I made my way back from there. I then got home and my dad had gone to pick my grandma up from the airport as she'd been in Ireland visiting my aunt, uncle and cousins, and then he got back and had dropped her back to hers, and Bear was very happy to have Dad back, and he was doing zoomies around the living room, and me and my mum and younger sister were just watching a bit of this comedy series called Mike and Molly. I did a cup of tea and some biscuits and just read some more of The Long Game, worked on some new illustrations, kind of sort of dozed in and just listened to a bit of music, and just tidied up my office, my dolls and dollhouse a little bit, and then I was just watching a bit of Friends, and I'm now off to go and take Bear for a walk with my dad and to see with a bit more of the vlog when I'm back from that. It's late on in the evening now, and I had a lovely time taking Bear for a walk with my dad. We then got back and I had a cup of tea and some biscuits and was reading some more of The Long Game. Worked on some more illustrations and kind of started dozing. I was working on my short story that I'm working on at the moment and just listened to a bit of music. And then for my tea I had some pie and potato and peas and gravy, and I'll show you guys that. The pie was so delicious. I had a cheese and leek pie, and then I had some bread to soak up the last little bit of the gravy. I then tidied the kitchen and had a cup of tea and some biscuits and just read some more of The Long Game, and I'm now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today and then watch today's Home and Away and UK soaps, and shall see you with more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Tuesday and I got up after a lie-in. I then had some breakfast. For my breakfast I had some raisin bread smothered in butter with a cup of tea and just watched a little bit of TV. Listened to some music. I was playing with Bear out in the garden, and it was a lovely sunny day with beautiful blue skies. I then was just working on some illustrations and kind of started dozing, tidied up my office and my dolls and dollhouse a little bit, and just watched some vlogs and TikToks and some funny dog and cat videos and some Sea Lion videos. And then I was just reading a little bit more of The Long Game and had a cup of tea and some of my custard cream biscuits. They're such good biscuits, they're probably my favourite biscuits at the moment. I then got 2 mirror selfies from my bedroom mirror as I've changed up the pillows underneath where my mirror is, and I'll show you guys the 2 snaps I got from there. Actually smiling in selfies for a change, groundbreaking for me, and I love these pillows. They're very whimsical. I've got the whimsical one in the middle that I got from HMV, and the toadstool with a little face on, which is so cute. I got one for Amy and one for Tash from Dobby's, I think sometime last year, and it's so cute. And then the sunflower one, so this all ties in together, very whimsical, very fairy-like, which I love, very into whimsical things like that. I then got myself ready to go off for a walk and make the most of this sunshine while it lasts, because you never know what this weather's going to do. and was listening to some music on my headphones whilst on my walk, enjoying the beautiful sunshine. And it was actually quite warm out, and I bumped into one of my family friends who was walking their dog. I was talking to them all about how Bear's getting on, and then I made my way up to the high street and went off to the book shop and loved the smell of old books, and they had a few Doctor Who books in there that I was having a look at, and then popped in to T.G. Jones and into some of the child shops and had a look around there, and then popped to the flower shop and I got some flower shops from there that I'm sure you guys. I was able to get some really pretty bouquet snaps from there. You've always got such beautiful bouquets with lovely flowers, and I then was having a lovely chat with the flower shop keepers in there. I then got some plants out from the plant section, and I'll show you guys those. The plant section in there is so pretty. They have loads of succulents and cactuses in the windowsill that I was getting snaps of, and I love all the pretty patterned leaves and all the pretty plant pots. I then went off and had a look around some more of the shops. I went into one of the stationery shops, even though I don't need any more stationery. It's always nice to have a little look in there. And then I bumped into one of my friends who's in one of the cafes that I go to morning group with, who's with their carer. So I went in and had a chat with them, and I got myself a drink from there, and I had a peach iced tea from there, which is so good. Sat in there for a little bit and chilled, and then on the way out I got 2 mirror selfies from there that I'll show you guys. They've got such beautiful mirrors in that restaurant, and I love the print and the chandeliers and the lanterns they have up in there. I then made my way back, and whilst on my way back I was enjoying the sunshine and just listening to some music on my headphones. I was listening to a bit of the Charlie X Everything Heights album she did for film, such great songs. I then popped to one shop, I got myself some lunch from there, and for my lunch I got some chicken Caesar wraps, which are my favourite type of wraps to have. I just got a mini yogurt with the chocolate and white chocolate baubles in, which is my favourite one to have. And then I made my way back from there and ended up going back as I'd forgotten to get some custard creams, so I needed to top up as I was running low on my custard creams. So I got those and got a sandwich for my mum. I then got back and I saw my grandma, who was over for the afternoon, so I was chatting with her all about how Ireland had been, and then she got dropped off to get her nails done by my mum. I then had my lunch, and for my lunch I had my chicken Caesar wraps, my Miller yogurt, and I had a cup of tea and some biscuits, and listened to a bit of music and watched some TikToks and some of my favourite YouTubers' new vlogs. And then I was working on a new illustration, and I'll show you guys that. Here's my latest illustration for you guys. Starting off with these shoes. She's got these high heel stilettos with sparkles on, and then she's got this pantsuit on. I love a pantsuit. And she's got these straps and then these like ruffled off the shoulder bit here. Then she's got this handbag, she's got a bracelet and a ring on, and these black nails, and she has this choker necklace and this little pom-pom earring and some studs in the top of her ear. I love the ringed eyeliner, and with it into my ringed eyeliner ring, and this style of hair where she's got the ear poking out of the hair, and it's got so much detail on. Love that pantsuit with the straps and the ruffled bit at the top. It's so cute. I then read some more of the long game. I got my jigsaw volunteering work top out of my bag that I got given a few weeks back, and it's so cute for like a fully like fledged member of the team. And I just love the little logo it has on. It's this like purpley grape kind of colour, kind of reminds me of Fanta grape, and I tried it on. Fits like a glove. I was worried it was going to make me look humongous, but luckily it makes me look normal and not humongous. I think I've lost a little bit of weight, which is always nice to feel. Sometimes I feel like an absolute blob, so it's nice to notice I'm getting a little bit slimmer, getting a bit healthier. And I'm showing you guys a mirror selfie I got in my volunteering work top. Got that mirror selfie from the bathroom after trying it on, and it fits like a glove, which is great. And I'm now off to go and read some more of the long game, listen to a bit more of Charlie X's new album from Wuthering Heights, the movie, and have some more of my custard creams. Love dunking them in my cup of tea. I'm just going to be chilling before going off to Jigsaw volunteering this evening. I shall see you with more of the vlog when I'm back from that. It's late on in the evening now, and before going off to Jigsaw, I head off to Tash's for a catch up. I made a cup of tea and a natter, and I got a mirror selfie from the mirror in the hallway with Tash, and I'll show you guys. I keep telling Tash she needs to get a little fancy dress box by the mirror so that you can take selfies in the mirror and put on the mirror, strike a pose and have little sticks with moustaches and stuff like that on. When I do eventually move in there with Tash, that's what I'll do. We then were just doing some TikToks and had a lot of fun doing those, a lot of laughter, and then she had to head off to Tesco's and I made it off to go to Jigsaw volunteering at Tuesday nights. And before that I popped off to one of the pubs and had a drink from there, as I was a little bit early to go to Jigsaw. And then I made way to Jigsaw and we had a games night and we played some games of Quick Murder, had some hot chocolate, and then did fruit or veg of the day, which we always do. And then we did some cute quizzes. It was then the end of the session and I got picked up by my dad. I got home and I got my uniform ready for work tomorrow. I'm doing a 9 till 3 working with Tash, so we're going to absolutely smash the shift. It's going to be so much fun. Always love working with Tash, we always slay the shifts. And then for my tea, I had some KFC style chicken and chips, and I'll show you guys that. It was so delicious, and I'm now off to go and finish my journal entry for today, put that away, and then I'm going to be watching today's home away and UK soaps, and then read more of the long game and have a cup of tea and some of my custard creams, and shall see you with more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Wednesday and I got up ready for work. I had to work doing 9 till 3 and it was me and Tash on shift, so I knew that we were going to absolutely smash the shift, and always love working with Tash. We always work so well together. And I had some raisin bread toast with a cup of tea, let Bear out in the garden and gave Bear and Paddy their treats they have for breakfast in the mornings. And then I made my way off to work. Whilst on my way up to work, I was listening to music on my headphones. There's a bit of Charlie XCX and a bit of Kylie and a bit of Lady Gaga. Loving the sunshine and blue skies. The weather is definitely becoming more like spring weather, which I'm loving. I'm so done with this rain. I then went off to the co-op and got myself a drink for work. I got Tash one as well, and then went off to the coffee lab just next door and got a yogurt for me and for Tash, one of those berry compote yogurts which are so delicious, and they have the nuts on, and I always give Tash the extra nuts as I like it without them. I then got into work. I got clocked in, I put my bag and coat away and got my drink out and gave Tash her drink and her yogurt. I had my yogurt on the way in and it was so delicious, and it was quite busy with lots of people coming in for coffees and for breakfast, and we had people sitting inside as well as outside, and I was doing lots of cleaning of tables and running food and drinks and some food and drink orders and drinks making. And then it quieted down, so I did a massive cleanup. It then got quite busy again at lunchtime, and we had quite a few big groups coming in for lunches and lots of smoothies and OJs and milkshakes. So we were doing lots of drinks making and running lots of food and drinks, and it was kind of intense for a moment there. And my boss came in with his newborn baby. He was getting so big. I was having a nice chat with the boss, and he's going to be moving down to Devon with his family, so I was chatting with him about that. And then I did another massive cleanup as it calmed down again, and I finished at 3 o'clock. I then got changed into this jumper that I'm wearing now, this lovely green colour, this emerald jumper that I always love wearing, and got some mirror selfies. You know how much I love a mirror selfie. This is probably one of my favourite jumpers. I love this emerald green colour. I then head off to go to Surroundings, just up the road from my work, and got some snacks on there and show you guys. So to get some really cute snaps of some of the displays in there. They sell really cool mugs, stationery, prints, socks, all things I absolutely love, and I ended up caving in and getting some socks from there. They're so cute. They've got colourful stripes on them and they're so soft. I love my socks, as you guys know. I then went off and had a look inside the charity shops. I went off to the book shop and into one of the little craft shops and had a look in there, and popped into Costa. I got a drink from there, and I was waiting to get that. I got a cute mirror snap from there to show you guys. That mirror is so cute, and the wallpaper with all those pretty patterned leaves on is so pretty. I'd love to have that in my bedroom. Maybe I'll get that when I have my room makeover. I'll have to go in there and ask where they got the wallpaper from. I then went down to my grandma's, asked her to help her with some bits, and then she gave me these Jaffa cakes to say thank you, bless her. And then I made way home, and whilst on my way home I was just listening to a bit of music on my headphones, listening to a bit more of Charlie XCX. I then got back, and for my lunch I had a pot noodle. I then wrote some of my journal entry for today, listened to a bit of music. I was working on some illustrations and colours of days in, and just read some more of the long game, and I got past the plane crash and the proposal, spoiler alert, and I was an absolute mess. I was literally blubbing. It's just so beautiful. I just love these books, and I cannot wait for the second season to be out next year. And the third book, mainly based on Elia and Shane, was supposed to be coming out in September of this year. It's now not going to be out until June of next year, but it's fine. It means it's going to be a full-on heated waifu year with the series and the book coming out next year, so it gives us lots more things to look forward to. I then was just listening to a bit of Kylie and was just working a bit of my short story that I'm working on. And then my dad got back from being fishing, which he does most Wednesdays, and Bear was very happy to see him doing absolute wild zoomies around the living room. And then my dad took him off for his walk, and he got back, and I was just watching some stuff on record that I finished watching. And then my mum had got the tea ready, and we were having curry, and it smelled so good. We then had that, and I'm sure you guys, it was so delicious. Had a bit of a kick to it. We then tidied away the kitchen, and I am now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today. And then I'm going to be watching today's Home and Away and UK soaps, and then reading some more of The Long Game. I'll probably have a cup of tea and some more of my cousin cream, which I love. And I'll see you more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Thursday, and I got up after a lie-in. I then got showered and changed and had some lemon curd toast and a cup of tea for my breakfast. Had some bear cuddles and was playing with him out in the garden with one of his whip toys that he absolutely loves. I then just watched a bit of TV, listened to a bit of music, and then my grandma popped over after getting her haircut just around the corner from where we live. So I was having a nice chat with her, and then I got myself ready to go off to get a bus into town, as I was heading off into town for a little bit of a mooch around there. And I headed off there and was listening to music in my headphones and waited for the bus to arrive, and it felt like the bus was taking forever to arrive. Normally I manage to time it quite well, and I get there just as the bus is pulling up. This time, however, I was not as successful, and the bus did take quite a while to arrive. The bus then came, and I got on the bus and I sat on the top of the deck of the bus and was listening to music on my headphones, and they had charging ports, so I was able to have my charger with me and charge my phone, as my phone hadn't charged last night, annoyingly, so charged that whilst on my way into town. I then got into Bristol and I headed off to the flower shop I always love to go to whenever I'm in Bristol. And it was a flower shop from there that I'll show you guys. They've always got such beautiful bouquets of flowers in there, and it always smells so good with all the pretty flowers and all the pretty coloured flowers. I was then having a lovely chat with the flower shop keepers in there. I then got some selfies in front of some of the flowers and plant displays they have in there. I got some plant snacks in there that I'll show you guys. The plants they have in there are so pretty, all the succulents and cactuses and the plant pots and the pretty patterned leaves. I then went next door to a cafe and got a chai latte and a blueberry muffin from there, and I'll show you guys that. The blueberry muffin and chai latte I had from that cafe was so delicious. The blueberry muffin was like an apple crumble kind of muffin, which was so delicious. I then stayed in there for a little bit, and then I went off to go to have a look around some of the shops in the galleries, and then went off to Primark, where I went off and had a look at the home section, which is my favourite section to have a look at, and I got some snacks on there that I'll show you guys. The Primark home section is always my favourite place to go in Primark. I love all the cute little pillows and the mugs with all the pretty patterns on, and the glasses with the pretty flowers on, and there's some really cute Easter bits and some Bridgerton themed things as Bridgerton season 4 part 2 comes out today. Very excited to watch that later on. I then went off to Sparks. It's a really cool shop that has lots of independent little stalls with really cool clothes and stationery, mugs, socks, just lots of really cool things like that, and also have a lovely time in there looking around there. There's always something new to see, and they have really cute mirrors in there, and I got some mirror snaps from there to show you guys. These mirrors are so beautiful, and you know me, I love a mirror selfie. I was then chatting with other people who works there and just saying how it's such a great shop and how I always love coming here whenever I'm in Bristol, and how my mates all love it and my siblings also love it, and she was quite touched by that. And then I made my way off and went off and looked at some more of the shops. Went into this game shop and into a book shop and into Scribbler, this really cool stationery shop, and then went off and got myself a McDonald's for my lunch, and I'll show you guys that. The McDonald's I had for my lunch was so delicious. I had one of the French Big Mac meals with a Fanta, and I got Monica. I have now got Phoebe, Ross and Monica. I now just need to get Chandler, Joey and Rachel, and then I will have all of the McDonald's Friends pop figures they're doing at the moment. And then I went off and had a look at some more of the shops in Cabot, and went off to Minisu, this really cute shop, and I got 2 mirror selfies from there to show you guys. That mirror just says looking good, it's so adorable. I was then looking at some of the pin badges and key rings they have in there, and they had a little Harry Potter themed things which I love, so I was having a good look around there at some of the Harry Potter stuff. They also had some Powerpuff Girls stuff, which I also love a bit of Powerpuff Girls. And then I went off to Urban Outfitters and had a look around there. They had a little really cute socks and some jumpers, but I don't need any more socks or jumpers at the moment. I then made my way off to get the bus back. Got the bus back, and on the way back I was listening to music on my headphones, and I just finished off my Fanta that I got from McDonald's and had some of these pizza like dough ball things and put these in my bag to have on the bus back, and they were so delicious. I then got the bus a few stops off where I was going to be getting off originally, so that I could go to one stop and get some drinks for games night this evening. I think we're going to be watching a movie instead of games night this evening, which should be fun, and I think we're having bacon baps. Could never say no to a bacon bap. I then got back just as it started to rain, so I'd managed to time it perfectly whilst being out in town and not having to get caught in the rain, thankfully. And then I had a cup of tea and some biscuits, went some more of the long game and had a cup of tea with some of my custard cream biscuits, and it was just writing a bit of my journal entry for today. And then my dad took Beth for a walk, and I was just tidying up my office and my dolls and dollhouse, and then my dad got back with Bear, and I'm now off to go and start watching season 4 part 2 of Bridgerton, and just see a little bit more to vlog when I'm back from games night later on. It's late on in the evening now, and I'm back from being at games night at Jen's, so I got ready to go off there, and I got dropped down there by my dad. Got to Jen's and we were playing some games. We played a game of Spin the Wheel on one of Jazz's game devices, and I am like an old person when it comes to game devices nowadays, so we played that for a bit, and then we played a bit of some card games, and we had some burgers for our tea, and then had some cupcakes that Jen was making, as she does cake baking as well as working where we work, and her cakes are so amazing and the cupcakes were so good. We then played some more games and had a lot of fun, lots of laughter, always have so much fun with those guys. It was then the end of games night, and my mum came and picked me up, and we dropped Jazz back to hers, and then I got back and I had some of my cherry cola that I'd taken to games night as there was some left over, and then me and my mum were just watching a bit of The Vicar of Dibley. Such a great show. and I got a snap of Bear all cuddled up on the sofa, and I'll show you guys that. He is so adorable and he's getting so big, and I'm now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today, and then I'm going to be watching today's Home Away and UK soaps and reading some more of The Long Game, and then I'm going to probably watch a bit more of Bridgerton Season 4 Part 2 and to see you more on the vlog tomorrow. It's Friday and it's the end of the week, and I hope you guys are all having a lovely end to your week, almost the weekend. And I got up early ready to go off to morning group, and I had some toast and a cup of tea for my breakfast. I had some cherry jam toast, love cherry jam, watched a bit of TV, just a bit of music, and we're having some bear cuddles and playing with them out in the garden. And it was a lovely sunny day with beautiful blue skies, hoping it lasts. And then I got dropped to morning group by my mum. I got to morning group and it was just me and 3 other of the members of morning group, as one of them wasn't there as they've hurt their knee, so they won't be there till next week. Wishing them a speedy recovery with their knee injury. And we were doing some baking, which I always love doing at morning group. Always have so much fun doing baking, and I'm quite good at baking and quite quick when it comes to baking, so I was helping some of the others who needed a little bit of help. And we then had some cups of tea and some biscuits and a good natter whilst the sausage rolls we were making were baking, and we did a bit of colouring in with some colouring in pages that the lady who was the morning group printed out, and then they were ready and they smelled so good. And I'll show you guys a clip of the sausage rolls that I'd made. Here are the sausage rolls I made at morning group. They look so delicious. They turned out really well. I then got picked up by my mum and I got dropped to the garden centre, my happy place, and I headed in there and got some flower snaps from the flower section. They've got a lot of spring flowers starting to appear, which is getting me so excited for spring, and they've got such lovely colours and smell so good. I then went and had a look around at the home section and the stationery section. I was having a look at some of the mugs and some of the plushies and notebooks, and they also have a load of sweets and chocolates in at the moment with a big Easter display as Easter's on its way. So I was having a look around there, and then I was chatting to one of my mates who works there and went off to have a look around at the plant section, and I got some plant and succulent snaps from there to show you. Such beautiful succulents and cactuses and pretty patterned leaves and plant pots in there. I then made my way back, and whilst on my way back I got some salvias and photos, some red and white blossoms that started to appear. I was getting closer to spring and lots of really cute flowers. I then got back and I went off to lunch, so I got myself a drink for work tomorrow and a drink for Sunday's shift. I was listening to music on my headphones, enjoying the lovely sunshine and blue skies. And whilst on my way back, I'd ordered myself a Butty's lunch to collect for 1:30. I then head off to go and collect that, and I went off to the shop next door to look in there as it's recently opened. And then I collected my Butty's lunch. I've got myself a Coronation chicken baguette. Coronation chicken baguettes are my favourite. I love a bit of Coronation chicken at the moment. I got a lemon drizzle slice as well. I then got back and had my Butty's, and I'll show you guys that. The Coronation chicken baguette and the lemon drizzle slice I had was so delicious, and I had a cup of tea in my tulip mug, which I love. I got that from Aldi a few years back, and I always like bringing it out at springtime. And then I was just watching some episodes of Heated Rivalry, just been watching that. Not only am I reading the second book of Heated Rivalry, I am also rewatching it as well. I just love it. It's literally taken it from my life. And I then just listened to a bit of music. I might touch some illustrations and kind of self-dozing. I just read some more of The Long Game. I'm nearly finished with that one. I've got like that much left. And then the next one of Ilya and Shane's story isn't out until next year now. But whilst waiting for that, I'm just going to be watching Heated Rivalry again, and I'm now off to go and watch some more episodes of part 2 of season 4 of Bridgerton. and then this evening I'm going to be going into town with Tash, as they've got a lights festival on at the moment with lots of lights, like art displays that they've got dotted about the city. So we're looking forward to going off there and getting some nice snaps of those, and I'll see you with a bit more of the vlog later on this evening. We're back from that. It's later on in the evening now, and I'm back for being at Bristol's Lights Festival in town with Tash. So I got myself ready and made my way off to meet her. I thought she was finishing work at 5, so I made my way up there, got there, and I was told by my colleagues that she'd actually finished at 3. So I then went over to the flat and went up, and we then headed off to the bus, and the bus was about to leave. Luckily we managed to get the bus, and it was lashing down, so my coat on was still soaked, and it was just so heavy, the rain. I was like, oh my god, it's been so nice and sunny all day, and all of a sudden we had this awful downpour. So I was just hoping that it wouldn't be like that for the whole evening. And we got into town, and 2 of my mates were on the bus, and they were also going to the Lights Festival, so I was chatting with them. And then we got to College Green, and they had this ginormous inflatable cat bit of artwork from the Lights Festival, and it was so cute. And we got a map to show where the other bits were, and it rained a little bit, and then it stopped, and luckily it was nice and dry for the rest of the evening. And me and Tash had a lovely time walking around, looking at all the cute Lights Festival or displays that they had up. Lots of things like hot air balloons, and lots of really cool like lights and swing, and I will show you guys snaps that I got from there. They were all so cool, and they were spaced out, so we did a lot of walking, and then Tash got some snaps of me in front of some of the Lights Festival displays, and I'll show you guys those. She got some great snaps of me, and we got some really cute selfies. And then we went off and got McDonald's, and I had a friend's Big Mac meal, and I had got given the Phoebe Pot figure, but I already had that one, and I'm trying to collect all of them, and I just needed Chandler, Rachel and Joey. So I went up and was like, I've already got this pot figure, do you mind if I swap for one that I haven't got? And oh, what one do you need? And I said, oh, could I get the Chandler one please? Got the Chandler one, and it comes with a little duck, which is so cute, little chicken. And I now just need to get Joey and Rachel, and I had my Big Mac meal, and I'll show you guys that. It was so delicious. Walking around seeing all those Lights Festival displays and bits of artwork really did make me very hungry, and it felt good to sit down as we'd walked quite a lot, so my legs were a little bit tired. We then made our way off to go get the bus home, and had such a great evening at Bristol's Lights Festival. Such cool art, and then Tash got off first, so I thanked her for a lovely evening. I then listened to music on my headphones, and then I got back and I got my uniform ready for work tomorrow, and I'm now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today, and then I'm going to be watching today's Home Away and UK soaps, and then I'm probably going to be reading a little bit more of the long game and make myself a cup of tea and have some more of my custard creams, which are going very quickly. I just love a custard cream so much, and we'll see you with more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Saturday, and I hope you guys are all having a lovely start to your weekend. I got up early, ready for work, and got showered and changed. I then had some toast on the cup for my breakfast and some lemon curd toast. I was then just watching a little bit of TV and listening to some music before work, and had some bear cuddles and played with him out in the garden, and it was such a lovely sunny day with beautiful blue skies. I then got dropped to work by my dad. I then got onto work, got clocked in and put my bag away, and it was me and 3 other colleagues on shift, and it was pretty busy. We had quite a lot of bookings in, as it was really sunny. It brought everybody out, so I was having lots of coffees. We had lots of people doing breakfast and big coffees in the morning, and then had quite a few big bookings in for lunches. And I saw and chatted to some of the workers with a great team on and a great playlist playing, so I was singing along to some of the songs. I was cleaning tables, I then was cleaning tables inside as well as outside, as we had people sitting outside. Had a few cyclists come in, so that made it quite busy, and lots of babies in, so there's prams everywhere, and it was pretty intense, but we absolutely smashed it. I had a great team on. It then calmed down, and I did a massive clean up, and it was me and one other person on floor, one on coffees, one on bar, and me and the colleague I was with on floor were absolutely smashing it. I cleared the tables, she'd wiped the tables, and we had a good little bit of a routine going on, and we absolutely smashed the floor. The floor was spotless by the time we'd finished. I'd had to go to Aldi just before finishing to get some bits, and they changed it all around, so it was a bit of a nightmare trying to find everything. So I did have to ask one of the people who worked there for a few things I couldn't find, and then I finished at 3. I then clocked off and got my bag. I got changed into the jumper I'm wearing right now, and then went off to Tesco's to get myself some lunch from there, and I got a chicken Caesar bacon pasta pot from there, and got some flour snacks for the flour section, and I'll show you guys. They've got such beautiful bouquets of flowers in there, with lovely roses and sunflowers, two of my favourite flowers to get snaps of. I then bumped into one of the workers, so I was chatting with them. I then went off to have a look around the chap shops. I went off to the book shop, and then went off into Winifred's and got a cream finger from there. I then made my way back, and whilst on my way back, I was listening to music on my headphones, enjoying the beautiful sunshine and blue skies, hoping this weather lasts, fingers crossed. And I got home, and I got my work uniform ready for work tomorrow, and then had my lunch, and I had the chicken Caesar pasta pot with a cup of tea and my cream finger, and I'll show you guys that. The chicken Caesar salad I had for my lunch with the cream finger and the cup of tea in the Campbell Bridges mug was so delicious. I love a big cup of tea, and that mug is perfect for a nice big cup of tea. And then me and my mum were just watching a bit of Star Trek. I then called Tash and was chatting with her, asking how her day had been. I was just telling her all about how my day had been and how work had been. And then my dad got back from watching my older brother play rugby, and I had been playing with Bear out in the garden and playing with his rope toy, and I got a snap of him on the sofa, and I'll show you guys that. He's such a beautiful pooch. And then my dad took him off for a walk. I then was just reading some more of the long game, working on some illustrations and kind of some dosing, and had a cup of tea and some of my custard cream biscuits, which are my favourite biscuits. They're so good. I was then tidying up my office and my dogs and dollhouse a little bit, and then my dad and Bear got back from their walk, and then for tea we had curry, and I'll show you guys that. The curry that I had for my tea was so delicious. I didn't help tidy away the kitchen, and I'm now off to go and finish writing my journal entry for today, and then I'm going to be watching New Brits Got Talent and Deck just crack me up, and I'm going to be watching the Brits and just see more of the vlog tomorrow. It's now Sunday, and I hope you guys have all had a lovely Sunday rest. I got up early ready for work, and I was doing a 10 till 5. I then had some toast and a cup of tea for my breakfast, watched a bit of TV, had some purr cuddles and listened to a bit of music, and then I got dropped to work by my dad. I then got into work, got clocked in and put my bag and coat away and got my drink out to have for work. I had some of that, and it was me and 3 other colleagues on shift. I was mainly on floor, running food and drinks, doing some food and drink orders and drinks making, cleaning tables, and so on, chatting to some of the regulars, and it was quite busy. We had quite a busy breakfast rush, lots of people in for breakfast and then for coffees, and we had people sitting outside in the gazebo area where we have some heaters and blankets. So I was running food and drinks inside as well as outside, and we were supposed to be having a musician play at 12 o'clock. Unfortunately, they weren't very well, so we didn't have a musician today, but we did have a really good playlist on, so I caught myself singing along to some of the songs whilst cleaning tables. And then it got quite busy at lunchtime as we had a Sunday roast on. We were doing pork, belly or beef roast, so we had quite a lot of people in for Sunday roast, so I was running lots of Sunday roast. I then got my lunch break once it was quieting down, and I had this roast bap which has beef and roast potatoes and horseradish in with a bit of sticky toffee pudding, and I'll show you guys that. The secret roast bap and the sticky toffee pudding that I had for my lunch was so delicious, and I was listening to music on my headphones and I was just scrolling through my Twitter and Instagram and watching some TikToks and some vlogs, and had set my alarm to go off once my lunch break had finished. I finished my lunch and I didn't think I was going to be able to eat all of it, and I definitely was hungry as I devoured it. And then my alarm went off to the end of my lunch break. I then turned my headphones off, put those in my bag, and then put my plate around in pot wash, and then I continued on with my shift and was ordering food and drinks, doing some food and drink orders and drinks, making even did a few coffees, getting quite confident on the coffee machine now, getting a few smooth milkshakes, and so on, chatting to some of the regulars. And then from 3 to 5 it was just me and one other colleague on shift, so I was just doing some food and drink orders and running some food and drinks and cleaning tables. I was cleaning tables inside as well as outside, and it got quite dark quite early this evening. It looked like it was going to rain, and I went around and lit all the candles and was really nice and cozy with the ambiance. And then I finished at 5. I then clocked off and got changed into this jumper I'm wearing right now, and then I headed off, and I've now got the next 5 days off, and I went off to the co-op. I got some bits from there and then bumped into one of my mates, so I was just chatting with them, and then made my way off home. I was on my way back, I was listening to music on my headphones, and it was overcast but dry with a tiny bit of blue skies, so luckily it did not rain, and I was having a lovely stroll, and I got some fast starts on my way back, and I'll show you guys. I had a lovely stroll back, enjoying the blue skies that were starting to come out, and there's a little bit of sunshine, which is lovely. And I was listening to music on my headphones. I was able to get some really beautiful flower starts with such lovely colours, lovely flowers and blossoms. Spring is definitely on its way. I'm so excited for spring with all the blossoms and flowers appearing and the sunnier weather. I'm done with this rain. I'm looking forward to the sunshine now. I then got back and I'd gone to the shops just on the back from where I live to get some cash out for the new week ahead, as I try to use cash and not tap on my card as much, which is helping me be able to see what I'm spending and not tapping as much and spending what I can't see. I then got back and I put my workplace in the wash, and my grandma was over with tea and my mum was cooking the tea, and it smelled so good. I then was just working on some illustrations and colouring some of those in, and just watched some vlogs and TikToks on funny dog and cat videos and some sea lion videos, and then I finished off one of my illustrations, and I'll show you guys a clip of that. Here's my newest illustration for you guys, starting off with the boots. She's got these high heel boots on. I love the style of these boots she has on. She's got this handbag and these stunning acrylic nails. They're so long with these pretty patterns on. And she's got this ring on, and then she's got this jumper with this shoulder pad. I love these shoulder pads. The sharper and higher the shoulder pads, the better. And then this little cufflink bit with 2 buttons on, and then she's got this heart cut dress with this cool little heart cut little whooshing bit here, and this belt, and then she's got this brooch and this collar and this necklace, and she has this cross earring with some spike studs in the top of her ear, and she's got this black shaved bit here and this long flowing hair with such detail in the hair, which I love, and these flicky bits here, and the face. I just love the winged eyeliner and the lashes and the lips and the eyes. Faces are probably one of my favourite things to do on my illustrations. That, the hair and the shoes and the nails. I've loved doing these long acrylic nails, style nails on the illustrations at the moment. I love the wing eyeliner and the detail of the hair. I then was just watching some stuff off record that I needed to finish catching up on, and had a cup of tea and some of my custard creams. I was reading a bit more of The Long Game, and then I had my tea, and we had a Sunday roast, and I'll show you guys that. The Sunday roast was so delicious. I didn't think I'd be able to eat all of it after having the roast for lunch, but I was obviously very hungry still and devoured that. We then had some trifle for pudding, and I'll show you guys that. trifle is probably one of my favourite puddings to have. We also had a little bit of cheesecake as well. I then helped tidy away the kitchen, and then we were watching a bit of this wildlife documentary presented by David Attenborough, the absolute legend that is. I can't believe he's nearly 100. And then we were watching a little bit of Auntie's Roadshow, and then my dad dropped my grandma home, and I'm now off to go and finish writing my documentary for today. And then I'm going to be watching Connor Sturry's episode of SNL, which he was on, and Hudson Williams made a little guest appearance, and they're just so bloody cute. The two future wifey stars are just, their friendship is just so adorable, and they both say that they're soulmates and that they're a comfort person, which I absolutely love and cannot wait to watch it. I've seen clips of it on TikTok and Instagram, and it looks so good. He's just so funny and always cracks me up. And his smile, he's just pure sunshine. So I'm really looking forward to watching that, and I hope you guys have all had a lovely week and weekend, and all have a great new week ahead, and I shall see you with a new vlog coming very soon.